All right. Welcome, everybody, to Clear Blue Radiance. I am the host of this live podcast, Brother Francis E. Revels-Bey. I'm glad to be here. Today is February the 23rd at 1:30 p.m. I have a very short but interesting topic for you today. And bear with me a second while I kind of get it typed in, I should say. One of the things I want to tell you is that I'm happy to be here, a part of Resident Essentials, the group uh, on Facebook. I've known the owner of Resident Essentials for some time now, and she has a wonderful spirit, very bright woman with a goal that will help each and every person achieve higher consciousness for themselves. So, my name is Brother Francis E. Revels-Bey. I've been a spiritual counselor for well over 40 years, and I enjoy helping people such as yourself gain greater clarity in your own life, as well as redefine your purpose or discover your purpose. We all have a purpose, but the interesting factor is purposes change all the time, right? Our purposes change all the time. So it is quite interesting when we can find that purpose. And it's also interesting when we're having a difficult time trying to discover, what that purpose may be. And often we have a lot of ups and downs. So I want people to realize, as much as you might think that your life can be difficult, and yes, it can, it doesn't always have to be. That's one of the things we have to realize. And, sometimes we have these challenges that come upon us. And sometimes people always say, why is me? What did I do in my past life that created this? What did I do to somebody that is allowing my life to be all torn apart? And the more we become open to what's going on in our lives, then what happens is the more we begin to realize that we have to make changes. It is not always left up to other people to change you, nor is it left up to you to be the one that changes everybody else. The reason for that is you don't have the keys that were given to them to drive their life, and they don't have yours. So, when we are out there trying to help people, it is not easy being a spiritual counselor. And I've said I've been a spiritual counselor for over 40 plus years. And even I go through changes. We all do. If we're not going through a change, then we're not really living. As my late mother Grace used to say, wait till you start to live. And I used to say, what do you mean by that? I thought I'm living now. She says, no, you're just at the tip of the iceberg, and you're only really that close to the tip. You didn't even get to the bigger part of that tip. Everything looks small, or everything will look big to you. So I'm going to base this on three things. Now, one of the things I'm going to base it on, just three keys. I feel are three keys for the moment. If I do this at another time, I'll see something much bigger. Dreams lay the foundation for your realities. Dreams lay the foundation for your reality. Now, that depends on where your reality is focused. Are you focused on something that's old? Or you're focused on something that's in the past? Or are you focused on something that you want to see happen to you in the future? Or are you focused on the potentials of the future, what looks possible? Or are you focused on right now? So dreams lay the foundation for your realities. The next point is your passions become the fire for your dreams and your desires. Your passions become the fire for your dreams and your desires. And the last one is, but you are the guiding light. That means you have to become the guiding light in your own life. You have to be willing to take that extra step to go forward or stand still. I just had a client call me earlier today, and something was happening with their Instagram account, and it was being like temporarily put on hold or might be canceled altogether. And I said, well, you kind of knew that this was coming. And he agreed. He said he was feeling it for months. And all it means is if he paid more attention to that intuitive side of himself, he would actually see himself in the near future on a whole nother platform. So I say that to means that sometimes we are putting too many eggs in one basket. We want everything to show up in one particular way. And we're not allowing ourselves to kind of spread our wings a little bit, to expand our awareness, expand our consciousness, to get higher with it. Sometimes you can't get higher with the consciousness until the emotions are cleared out, until your thoughts get clear. Sometimes we have a lot of hurt and pain inside of ourselves that are embedded at such a deep level. It's like trying to peel a freaking onion. And you know what it's like to peel an onion, right? If you peel it just right, get that skin side off, and then that little tiny layer that keeps all the aroma of the onion in place. But when you peel off that very thin skin, oh, if it's a fresh onion, you begin to tear up. Well, that's how some of these embedded thoughts and feelings that we have embedded it layer on top of layer on top of layer on top of layer. And often we don't clear it all out. And even when you think it's clear, it's not, because there'll be something else that triggers it. There'll always be something else, someone else, a situation, or an event in your life that will bring up stuff that you thought you got rid of. You decided, okay, I can't sweep up anymore. I can't dust up anymore in this house. I'm full of, my sinuses are blocked now. I got so much dust in my eyes, my hands, my nasal passage. I just can't do anymore. So I take a break. But sometimes while we're busy taking a break and we come back to it later, we say, I'll finish that another day. And then we wake up and go, I'll finish that another day. And next thing you know, 6 months done gone by, and you didn't get that little bit of debris out of the way, which what attracted similar situations, similar patterns of behavior. So often we have to find keys to unlock the door, to go into the attic of the mind and find out what's in there that we might need to get rid of. What keys can we use to go into the heart or heart chakra area, the chamber itself, and see what needs to be released? Sometimes we got stuff that's emotionally embedded, fears, doubts, illusions, other people's junk. And that happens. Many of you know that sometimes if you're very sensitive to what's going on with yourself, You might have other people around you who mean well, who want to tell you how to get rid of your junk, but they didn't get rid of their junk, or they got their junk hiding somewhere. So they don't tell everybody everything. Why? Because if they tell everybody everything, then people would look at them differently. And it does happen. Sometimes you can't tell everybody every ounce of your business, everything that's ever going on in your life. Why? It'll get twisted up, it'll get turned around, it'll be used as a weapon against you. But if you don't care if it's going to be used as a weapon, then you might be one of those people that have allowed yourself to get to a point where your old stats don't matter anymore. The old parts of yourself don't really matter. Who you used to be doesn't really matter. But what really matters is this: are you going to repeat the same things that you used to do? Sometimes we repeat them slightly different. We change it up just a little bit just to satisfy ourselves. Some people like to have an arsenal or two on hand. Why? So they can explode on somebody. But in the meantime, the person that they might be trying to explode on, they have a hard shell. They have a hard shell. And what happens, because they have a very hard shell in place, what you're throwing at them or expecting them to do falls back on you. Yeah. It's like, I'll call it reverse magnetism. The person who you're trying to change is not going to change at the rate that you want them to change, nor at the level of understanding that you want them to change. We are our own keys. We are our own doors. We are our own locks, and we are definitely our own pathways. We have to take the time, the necessary time to change. This is why when people say, well, I need to get away, sometimes you need to get away from yourself too. Sometimes you need to go to a place or be in a place where you're not going to be disturbed, so that you could thoroughly start to release anxiety, stress, pain, emotional hurt, mental hurt, scars from the physical part of your life. It's all something that we have to do. We have to dig really deep. So sometimes we might see something happen. So why did that person choose that to happen to them? We don't know that. I don't have an answer for that. And if I did have some kind of an answer, it doesn't mean it's correct. Why? Because I'm not living their path. I'm not in their shoes. So I don't really know everything or anything that's going on here and anything that they desire deep in here. I have no clue what that is. I could guess. I could come up with some theories, but I'm not that much of a mathematician where the theory turns into a theorem, which means it turns into an actual fact. So, dreams lay the foundation for your realities. Dreams have always laid the foundation for all of your realities, even the one you have right now. The life that you're living right now comes from a dream that you had long ago. Could have been 2 years ago, 6 months ago, but I think 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago. You were seeing something, you were experiencing something in the dream world, something that also in your waking state you were daydreaming about. Also, while you were physically more awake, you were thinking it and planning it, but there was no way for you to see it come into reality. So you began to sleep on it. You begin to go to sleep at night or before you go to sleep, reading certain books to try to find your answer, or sitting in moments where you're just contemplating. That's thinking, right? Bringing the right and left hemisphere together through the thought process. That's why you have the word contemplate. Temple, temple, this is the temple, temple plate. You got a left one, you got a left one over here, and you got a right one. And then you got plates behind you and on top. We got a, like the earth has seismic plates, right? And they shift. And when they shift deep, everything above's going to shift too. Just a little tiny of two plates touching each other sends a vibration way on the outside that can cause a flood, a tsunami of sorts. And it happened way down in the earth, way down, going toward the center. So you might want to think, what kind of dreams or desires do you have? What kind of dreams and desires do you have? What part of yourself are you seeking to change? I remember the late Reverend Ike used to say, in order to see a new world around yourself, this is just paraphrasing, in order to see a new world around yourself, you've got to first decide what it is that you want to do, you want to have in your life, how you want to be. You got to come to a decision. And he used to say you can't rush that process. People often rush through the process of trying to figure out, I want to have this. And then when they get the thing, they realize it's not what they really wanted. So he used to say, you got to get underneath the thought. You have to get underneath your actual first thought. And you got to get your emotions down in there. And you got to feel, does it feel right what you're thinking about? Because what we have learned, whether you want to call it metaphysical or spiritual or occult or whatever, what you're thinking and what you're feeling have to become aligned to each other. If you're thinking one thought, but you're feeling something totally different, your subconscious self doesn't know the difference. It only knows what more that you keep putting into the bank of memory. You are in the subconscious realm going, I got this thought over here. I got this certain fear. And it's weighted, it's colored by, it's tainted by these emotions of fear. But then on the other side, I got this beautiful gem that I really want to achieve, I really want to have. And yet, I don't have enough emotions connected to it that could make it what? Buoyant. Make it get to the surface out of my subconscious self so I could see it. Now I can bury it back into the subconscious. Why? Subconscious is similar to the universe. Huh? The ancient Kemetic people said the universe is all mental because they saw themselves reflected in there. They saw the outcome of themselves in the ethers, which they call the heavens. So, can you imagine you make a list of your dreams and a list of your desires? Because dream and desires are two different words. But we want you to get into the habit of thinking that eventually they're going to come together. What you desire is also what you dream. The more you dream about the desire and you're able to etch it out in your mind exactly in great detail, at the same time you act as a child, as if a child, and you have what? Your emotions are added. Like you're adding sugar to a cup of tea or honey. You're going to add your emotions. But your emotions have to be clear, just like your thoughts have to be clear. And when the emotions and the thoughts are on the same page and you become passionate about it, passion is the fire that you're putting into it. You become excited, you become enthused about it. When that happens, now the scale is being tipped and something is starting to happen on your behalf. Behind the scenes in the universe, deep in the subconscious, something is happening deep inside the body. Something is being formed, an idea, and is being fueled by your passion. Now, all you got to do is be more compassionate with yourself, bring the passion together within yourself, love yourself even more unconditionally, open up your mind to have greater and higher consciousness, and not to worry how it's going to come into play. The great Neville Goddard, who Reverend Ike would study his works, he would say, think from the end. So, whatever your dreams are, whatever kind of passions you could put into it, you need to start thinking from the end, seeing the end result. Your end result is not necessarily the big, huge house. Your end result is not the Mercedes or the Lamborghini. The end result is that you are truly, truly, joyfully happy with your life, and all other things come in. I often used to think when I came out here, people say, "Oh, you're in the house, you live in a complex." So my complex feels just like a mansion to me because they ain't got no walls. It's love in here that expands it, and I'm happy to be in it. Expansion. Why? Because it's peaceful here. There's peace on top of peace on top of peace on top of peace here. But like in the prayer of Saint Francis of Assisi, make me an instrument of peace. You can look for peace all day, but you got to become the instrument or the conduit for it to flow in and out of your life. We have to allow. Yes, Amber, thinking from the end, seeing the end result. That's what the Creative Pathwork Meditation series is all about. When you come on Saturday, it's about getting to your higher self, seeing yourself in the end become united or unified with your higher self. That's the higher consciousness in you that's now functioning on this earthly plane. And it functions at such a higher level that people you used to communicate with are no longer in your circle. You're not kicking them out of the circle. You love them just the way that they are, but you love yourself too. And you're loving to see yourself become a part of your higher self and see with the eyes of your higher self and listen with the ears of your higher self and feel deeply and richly through the heart center. That's where your compassion, the soul of you, exists deep inside you. Every cell in your being becomes that which you are seeking to become. So the late Reverend Ike would say, first make a decision. First know what it is that you want, then decide on what you want, which one of those things come a priority. Then open your mind and your heart to receive it. Some people say don't walk around with a clenched fist. Why? You can't receive something from somebody. Neither can you share something because your fists are closed. So you got to have the fire, the burning fire, burning desire. That becomes your passion as well. So your desires become that burning fire inside yourself that ignites your dreams. And now your dreams become passionate. You become the passionate part of your dreams. You become compassionate. You start bringing it all together. You start becoming this living magnet on the earth. Earth, switch those letters around. Can you hear HEAR the earth, but can you hear with your own heart? See, once we tune in to the rhythm of the earth, see, the earth is not tuning into our rhythm. We're tuning into the rhythm of the earth. That's why when people sit in meditation, they start rocking. They start going in little circles, creating all kind of patterns with their body. Then they get real quiet and they get a rocking sensation, so minute, but it changes everything within them, everything around them. And now they're no longer spacing out, they're spacing from the inside. They're graduating on the inside. The vision on the inside can be seen on the inside. The vision is lit on the inside. At the end of the word vision is a ION. That's a particle of light called an ion. That ion is in there, it's in you. You carry it through your passions, and when you become compassionate, you have the ion lit, the particle of light. And at that point, that's when you become your own guiding light. You become the beacon for yourself. You will attract similar beacons, but you will be your own beacon of light, and you will see clearly for yourself. So, as I begin to close this out, can you envision or imagine yourself being not only the dream maker, but the visionary, holding the keys, the charged particles of light called ions, holding that deep inside yourself, igniting every cell of your being to hold the vision, to hear the vision, to see the vision, to become the vision. So much that when you come out of the meditation, people notice you look different, you feel different, you act different. Why? Because your higher self is embedded in you. And the higher self, which is reflected deep inside of you, is also living outside of you. Begin to feel that presence totally with yourself so that you become more of who you are choosing to be, that end result. But even before you get to the end, you got to have another vision added. That's like, think of people who run track. Some people only see the end zone. So some people running, they start to slow down when they okay, if they got 30 meters on somebody, then they can afford to slow down. But if they're trying to beat a record, no, they got to keep running. And they got to run faster and faster and faster. And they got to trust their bodies. I've seen some people run a race, be so comfortable in the race, not paying attention, that here comes somebody like a bullet from the back. They're striving, they're riding, they're coming, they're feeling the vibration of the audience, the crowd, the spectators. And next thing you know, they're in that rhythm. They're not worrying about who's on the right nor who's on the left. All they know is what? They're going to go through the goal line. They're not going to slow up at the goal. They're not going to slow up at the tape. They're going to run through the tape. There are some athletes, professional track people that do that. They've learned to accelerate it, but keep accelerating through the tape. Because if they slow down, one little misstep of slowing down, they can be caught and passed. So remember, your dreams lay the foundations for your realities, whether it's an old one or a new one. Your dreams created where you are today. Your passions become the fire for your dreams and your desires, so that eventually the desire that you have, the fire deep inside, attracts the dream, the right dream or right combination of dreams to you, and they become energized like an ion, a particle of light. And then you realize that you are the guiding light. As your higher self, you're dictating where it's going to go now. And that's my message for today. When you get a chance, look up www.resonantessentials.com and check out the various practitioners that are there. We've got over 14 or 15 practitioners there. We got wonderful Amber Jajola. She does Reiki. And I haven't gotten a chance to get on her table yet, but I know she's bad. I know she's good because she attends my meditation class. No, but she is very good at what she does. You can see it in her auric field. You can feel the energy. We have many other people. Rosemary Navarra does a lot of work at the psychic fairs with us. Of course, the owner, Michelle Vidal, is there. She teaches many of the classes. She can help people become evidentiary mediums or trance mediums. She has a lot underneath her belt. She just wrote a book too called Mastering Metaphysics. You should get it. It's on Amazon.com as a paperback book and an ebook. We have from Santa Fe, we have Tracy Whitted. She has her transmosis healing and she can connect with you. We have Phoenix Savage, who also comes, Savage, who comes out of Santa Fe, and she does something with flowers, a Nigerian practice of healing with flowers that can assist you. And she just works with your hands. She's there. We have Nicole Bruton Phillip. She does oracle cards. In fact, her and Amber team up on a Tuesday. They become the dynamic duo right there at Resident Essentials. We have so many people. I'm there too, but I'm in a different way. I'm there every Saturday, from usually from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. But soon I will be there on Resident Essentials. Soon I will be there on Resident Essentials starting Saturday, March the 4th. I'll be there from 11:30 to 12:30. That'll be the new time for a while because we got a lot of other classes coming in. So from starting Saturday, March the 4th, I'll be there giving these distinctive creative pathwork meditation series designed to hook you up to your higher self. In the the second Monday, the second Sunday, not the second Monday, the second Sunday of every the second Sunday of every month, we have our Psychic and Healing Arts Fair. And we have anywhere from, I guess, a dozen or so practitioners. Admission is free. We're there from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. Resident Essential, by the way, Resident Essentials is located at 3107 Eubank Boulevard, Northeast. That area is considered the Northeast Heights. It's right there just before you get to Candelaria Boulevard Northeast. It's behind the McDonald's over there, but 3107 Eubank Boulevard Northeast. Exactly, you'll see like a tower type placard, and it's inside the Scottsdale Shopping Village. But right across the street is Silver Lane's Bowling Alley. So if you know what Silver Lane's Bowling Alley is, if you're traveling north on Eubank coming over Candelaria, you're going to have to make a left. If you're traveling south on Eubank before Candelaria, you can make an easy right. If you're traveling west on Candelaria, you will make an immediate right onto Eubank and get ready to make your left turn to go into Resident Essentials. So it's a green building with black trim. It's door or suite number 34, Resident Essentials. We look forward to meeting you and seeing you there. And there are many other practitioners and readers and healers from Tuesday all the way into Saturday. All right. So if you want more information about every one of us that are there or that are connected, just go to www.resonantessentials.com and click on practitioners. Click on products. You'll see the different books that we all have on there that we're doing, and you'll see lots of other things. I'm out of here. Thank you for joining me today. Bye, Amber. See you soon. And everyone, have a pleasant rest of your day. I'm going to get like a senior. And when 5 o'clock rolls around, I'm going to watch Family Feud with Steve Harvey. I like to do that now. So take care of yourself. I'll be back next Thursday, either at 1 p.m. or 1:30 p.m. with another new episode for Clear Blue Radiance. Take care, everybody. Until next time, remember that divine grace is a blessing as we're alive and well in the age of remembrance.